Yes. Uh, Let us start the topic. Today's topic is research skill development. Now, research skills are very much in demand right now because all the institutions are asking their faculty to pursue PhD, to present papers and write papers for Scopus indexed journals. So, for doing all these things, we need research skills. So that is why this topic has become very important for today's faculty. So with that in my mind, I'm going to present this program. Hope it will be very useful to all of you. My presentation will contain introduction, definition, research skills, how to enhance research skills, what are the basic research skills, literature review. Next is tips to improve, points to remember, research skills for students, and advantages of research skills, and finally, conclusion. Okay? Yeah. So let us start the presentation with a quotation. Research is turning the unknown into reality. What is research? Research is trying to find what is unknown, means making unknown into known. Okay? Whatever we are not able to find out, when we pursue it in a systematic manner and when we get proofs for it and finally we are able to present it, it is called research. So we are turning the unknown into a known object. That is research. Okay, next slide please. Definition. Now let us observe the first definition of research. It is the ability to search for, locate, extract, organize, evaluate, use or present information relevant to a particular topic. Now let us try to understand it word by word. So research is actually an ability, a skill that has to be developed. Okay. Now what is this research skill used for? It is used for searching. What do we search for? We search for new information. And next part is locate. Locate means whatever we are searching, we have to find out and record it. Okay, that is locating. Locating information and recording it as data. Okay, next is extract. Sometimes when we try to find information, it is not readily available. It is hidden in other things. Sometimes we have to dig up a lot. Sometimes we have to experiment and find out a new thing. Okay, that is why we are using the word extraction. Extraction means we are bringing out something which is hidden or we are finding out something which is new. Okay, and after finding out, what should we do? We should organize it into a orderly and methodical manner. So that is why organizing information is also important. Collecting information, searching information, finding hidden information, and after finding information, organizing it in an orderly manner. And not just organizing, we have to evaluate also. We have to see whether this is correct or not. We have to see whether the information we found is correct or not. That is also the responsibility of a researcher. And finally, after doing all these things, what should we do? We should present it or we should use it to find some more new information. Okay, relevant to a particular topic. So whenever we take a topic in research, we have to search for new things. We have to locate the information. We have to dig up or extract hidden information or new information. Then after finding information, we have to organize it. And then we have to see whether it is correct or not by evaluating it. And finally, we have to use it. Use it to find some more new information or to present it to the research experts. Okay, so this is the definition of research. Now, next, please. Research is a careful investigation or inquiry through search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. Research can be done in any branch of knowledge. It can be arts, it can be science, it can be pure sciences, mathematics, engineering, law, psychology, any subject you can do research. Even marketing, in those subjects also we have research, isn't it? And medical research, of course, biomedical and bioengineering. In so many fields, research is available. Okay. So research can be done in any branch of knowledge, and the duty of the researcher is to make a careful investigation. We have to be systematic. I told you in the previous definition. We have to be also careful. Why? Because we have to see whether the information is correct or not. We have to evaluate it. So that is why it should be a careful investigation through search for new facts. Mostly research tries to uncover new facts. Mostly research tries to invent new things. And that is how we get new technology or new gadgets or even new branch of knowledge. Okay, so that is why research should always concentrate on finding something new, not just telling about what is already there, but also finding something new, adding to the existing corpus of knowledge. Okay, next please. What are research skills? Let us try to understand them. Yes. Research skills comprises of many soft skills. Okay, research is basically a soft skill. Soft skills are the skills which are linked to our mind and personality. Okay, hard skills are what we do with our body. We involve ourselves more into it, whereas research skills like our soft skills, they are used with our mind as well as our knowledge. Okay, and they are closely linked to our personality. So what are research skills? Critical thinking, communication, time management, problem solving, detail orientation, data collection, data analysis, note taking, explanation skills, surveying, and source acknowledgement. So let me try to explain each point very clearly. Okay? So let us start with critical thinking. In order to do research, a researcher should have critical thinking. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is nothing but thinking very intensely about a topic and trying to find whether it is correct or not. Okay, we have to use lot of logic when we do critical thinking. Okay, in research, we can't say, I feel this, I feel that. No. We have to give substantial proofs for everything. Okay. When we give proofs, when we analyze systematically and logically, then we call it research. That is the main difference we have to understand. Okay. A researcher cannot write about how he feels about something. He has to give valid proofs for each and everything. And we can give valid proofs for each and everything only when we think critically, only when we think logically, only when we analyze logically. Okay? So that is why critical thinking is the first step for research. Next is communication. It is not enough if you have knowledge, you should also know how to present it. Knowledge is called communication. Okay, sometimes it becomes difficult for a researcher to communicate. So in those cases, the researcher has to take the help of communication experts to present his or her points. Okay. Because without proper communication, the research will not be effective. Okay. It may be truthful, it may have valid proofs, but still, if the communication is not there properly, your research will not be accepted properly. Okay, it won't be very effective. So that is why pay attention to communication also, especially when we write thesis or when we write scopus indexed papers, presentation, communication skills are very important. Good language skills are must, absolutely must for research. Next is time management. This is also an important aspect. A researcher should be able to complete his or her project within the stipulated time. Nowadays, if we delay, in previous days, people used to do research for a lengthy period, but now it is very, very systematic, and now we have to do continuous, regular reviews of our work. We have to give them very clearly what work we are going to do in which semester, and by the end of 6 months or 3 months period, we should definitely show them the progress of the work. Otherwise, they are canceling the registrations nowadays, isn't it? So that is why time management is very important. We should be able to project how long we need for each segment, and we should finish and deliver the project within the time. So that is why time management is also necessary. And next, problem solving. Problem solving is very, very necessary for research in marketing subjects or mathematical subjects or scientific subjects. Because in these segments, we have lot of calculations, we have lot of proofs to be shown. Okay. So that is why problem solving should be there, absolutely present in the research. Okay, whatever problem they are undertaking, they should be able to show clear cut solutions to those problems. Only then the research will be successful. Especially in experiments, you should have to bring valid proofs. Okay, next is detail orientation. In a research thesis, each and everything will be very minutely observed, not just proofs, language, punctuation, and how we are presenting the information, and how we are preparing the citations, how we are citing them, whether they are following the regular standards and the rules that are stipulated, everything will be minutely observed. So that is why a researcher should be have detailed orientation. They should pay attention even to the minutest details. Okay, so that is why a researcher should concentrate on each and everything. As soon as you get a source, immediately you have to make a note of the source, and you should know how to cite it in a proper manner. Okay. Now, that is why I have put data collection after detail orientation, because both are related very closely. Now, let us talk about data collection. Now, in research, we have to collect lots of data. And the early part of research, most of the time goes for data collection. And for data collection, we go to different sources. Like sometimes we have to go to libraries for books and such hardware sources. Sometimes we have to go to software version, electronic books for sources, and sometimes we have to go for interviews, and for some subjects we need to do surveys, sometimes interviews, sometimes we have to, in some subjects we have to go for experiments, and in some subjects we have to go for expert opinions, expert interviews, blogs, So many varieties of sources are there, and each and every source will give you different kinds of information. So the early part of research will be covered with collecting data from all these sources. Now, when you collect data from all these sources, you have to keep a very detail oriented tags for each and every information that you have collected. As soon as you receive information, immediately you have to write all the details, put it under a tag. Okay. If it is physical evidence, you can put a physical tag, or if it is in the electronic form, you can tag it and keep it in a file. Okay. So like that, for each and every data, you have to give correct sources. Otherwise, your research will not be valid. Okay. Every part of the information that we are taking should be verified. Okay. Next is data analysis. As soon as you get the data, you should organize it into different sections, and you should decide, yeah, this part will come in introduction, this part will come in first chapter, this part will come in second chapter, this part will go into conclusion. Like that, you should analyze everything and keep. Okay. Now, when you do that, it will be easy for you when you write thesis. Or, for example, even your Scopus papers. So, you have to analyze data and keep it under section wise. Okay. Next is note taking. Sometimes we have lots of information in the form of an article or a book chapter or something like that. In such conditions, the data will be very vast, so you can't put all the data in your thesis, isn't it? So that is why you have to skim through it. You have to read through it, skim the important parts, and see which part is necessary for your research, which part will help you in your research. So, depending on that, you have to take notes. You have to write it in a short form. Okay. There are many methods for it. You can write it in short form. You can write it in a coded language. You can follow your own method of note taking. But the main point is you have to take the information from it, not just copy, lift word to word. No. Try to understand it and present it. Okay. Next is explanation skills. Explanation skills are very, very important both in writing as well as in presentation. When you write, you should be able to explain your point very clearly. Okay, so which is introduction, which is explanation, which is definition, which is analysis, which is the conclusion. Like that, you should see and explain properly, section wise. Okay, and when you present also, you should try to explain each slide in a very detailed manner. Okay, so explanation skills are important, and surveying. For some subjects, surveys are important. Example, marketing. In marketing field, mostly people do a lot of surveys to gather information, to know about a product, to know about consumer trends, to know about market trends, to know about share prices, all these things. They do it in the form of a survey. Even in language also, sometimes we do surveys. Suppose we are studying students from a particular age group, or we are studying students from a particular type of syllabus, for example, CBSE syllabus, state syllabus. Like that, if we are studying, we do a kind of a survey. Sometimes we do surveys on curriculum. Sometimes we do surveys on marking system. So like that, surveying helps us to get lot of information, and at the end of the survey, you can do statistical analysis. Means this many percentage of people have liked this. This many percentage of people have not liked this. So like that, surveying helps us to get data. Okay. And always we should be able to process this data and present it in our thesis. Okay. Next, finally, source acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is nothing but citations. There are many type of citation formats. I am sure all of you know, like MLA format, Modern Language Association, or APA, American Psychological Association. And we have, since I work in engineering stream, they have mostly IEEE format. So like that, there are so many formats, and each format has its own way of citation. So we should first uh, understand the guidelines that are given about these associations and follow the citation, because each citation has its own style. So that is why whenever we write a paper, the first thing we have to see is which citation model is asked by them, asked by the publisher. So depending on that, we have to give our citations. And we should be very, very thorough with all the rules and regulations of the citations. Otherwise, it will be a problem when you present a thesis. Okay? Next, please. What are research skills and how can we improve them? So I told till now what are the research skills. Now next, let us see how we can improve these skills. Okay? Next, please. Yeah. How can we improve research skills? How can we enhance them? The first thing is background reading. This is very, very important for any researcher. The moment you choose your topic or your research question, immediately you have to do lot of background reading on that. Means you have to go to the sources from where that source is, from where the research question emerges from. And you have to go back and see if there are other people who have done research on the same topic, or if there is studies that are made about the topic. So all these things come under background reading. Now, when you are thorough with background reading, you will know which way you can proceed with your topic. Without proper background reading, we will not be able to analyze our topic properly. So that is why background reading is very, very necessary for the researcher in the initial stage. As soon as you start your registering for pre-PhD, you should start off with your background reading first. Okay. And then next, use key terms for search. This comes under data collection. When we are collecting data from different sources, mostly people used to go to libraries for searching information in previous days. But now 80%, I should say, is concentrated on online sources or e-sources, electronic sources. So for this type of sources, you should know how to search. All of us have different search engines, isn't it? And researchers always suggest that you have to use multiple search engines. Because if you use the same search engine, it will keep giving the same results, isn't it? Then there won't be any novelty. You know, you may not get new information. So it is better to try different types of browsers, search engines. And it is also important to search with different terms. Okay. As soon as you take your research question, immediately try to get key terms from it. For example, if you're taking a topic on a writer, suppose an American writer like Walt Whitman. Okay, I'm just giving an example. So, as soon as you take the topic, you try to go for key terms. What are the key terms? Key terms is American writer, and he has lived in this place, and he has written this poem or this work. So, like that, you search with each term, each separate term, you keep searching. And it is also important to search in different ways. Try to put words along with it. For example, if you are searching on a market for a product, so you can say this product sales, one search. This product reviews, one search. This product and expert opinions, one search. This product and composition, one search. This product and similar products, another search. Like that, in so many ways, you can search on the same topic. Whenever you add or minus something, you get a new result and you get new information. Okay, so that is why always use key terms for your search and use multiple sources. As I have told, use different sources like books, ebooks, and you can go to interviews, you can go for blogs, you can go for music. Sometimes some answers you will find in music also, and go to other fields also that are related to it, interdisciplinary. Okay, sometimes for psychology you have to go to sociology, and sometimes you have to go to political science also, sometimes you have to go for economics also to explain psychology. Okay, so like that you have to go to multiple sources to get information on your topic. And not only that, you have to do specific search also. Specific search means you're searching for information only on your topic. That also you have to do. Okay. So research is basically, it involves both extensive reading as well as intensive reading. Extensive reading means reading from different subjects on your subject. Intensive reading means reading specifically on your subject. So both are required by researchers. Okay. Next is books and articles. How many ever resources we have, books are always standard for good information, proper information, information with authority. Okay. So that is why books and articles are always respected everywhere, because they are written by experts. So that is why the information that is given in books and articles is more standard than the information that is available on net. On net, many things are available, but sometimes non-experts also write on net, isn't it? So that is why sometimes some information on net may not be correct. Sometimes there may be some kind of misinformation. I'm not saying everything is like that, but sometimes it may happen because individual opinions differ, isn't it? They keep differing. So that is why books are more standard compared to net sources. But we can use net sources also if they are very, very good sources. Okay. Next is critical reading. I was talking about critical thinking, isn't it? Critical reading. What is critical reading? When you read, don't just read the words there. Try to go for deeper meanings. Try to understand why the writer wrote this. Try to guess or try to imagine what is the reason for the writer writing like that. Was there a particular reason? Was there a personal reason? Was there a social reason? Okay, there are so many things involved, isn't it? So that is why critical reading is very important. Not just reading on surface, but reading what is behind the lines or what is between the lines. Okay? Yes. So this is how we can enhance our research skills. Next, please. Next slide, please.
Ma'am, I have changed. Ma'am, is it not moving?
Yeah. Previous one. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Basics for a research. Now, what are the basics for a research? We have to set up clear parameters. When we do research, we have to have clear parameters. Means we should know on which specific angle we are concentrating on. Suppose I am doing a research on a product. Okay. When I'm doing research on a product, I can do research on the sales of the product. I can do research on the people who are buying, the kind of people who are buying the product, or I can research on the social group of the people who are buying the product. There are so many angles to it, isn't it? Okay. So we should be very clear which angle we are picking for our research. Okay. So that is why setting up clear parameters is important. Next is logical and contextual arguments. When we do research, it is important to treat the subject in a very logical manner. I told you very clearly in the beginning itself, a researcher can't afford to say, I feel this is right. No, you should be able to prove it is right. Okay, so that is why for a researcher, logic is very important. You should be able to prove your topic with the logic and your analysis. So that is why a researcher should have logical argument in his or her thesis. And next is contextual. Contextual means based on the topic. Whatever topic we are taking, we should talk about that and only that. Okay. We can't ramble in our research. It should be precise. It should concentrate and center only on our research question. Because if we keep deviating a lot, that will be regarded a minus. Okay, so that is why always keep your arguments logical as well as contextual. It should be regarding the topic and topic alone. Okay, now write a literature review. Literature review, I have kept another slide because I thought I should talk about it more. So I will go to that topic after I finish this slide. Okay. Next is be ethical. Now, a researcher should also be ethical. What is research ethics? You should always acknowledge your sources. You can't take somebody's opinion and say it is yours. That is plagiarism, a serious crime. Okay. So a researcher should be very ethical. He should always present his ideas alone. And if they are quoting other people's ideas, it should be put in quotations. And the proper source should be clearly mentioned that you have taken the idea from someone and you are discussing that idea. Okay. So your idea, somebody's idea, there should be a clear distinction. That is what ethics in research is. And when you do research, it should not bring harm to anybody. Okay. That is also important in research. You can't harm anybody. Excuse me, sorry. Next is decision making. In research, we have to make correct decisions. Means when you conduct an experiment and when you get a result, you should immediately decide whether you are proceeding with that information or whether you want to go for a second round of experimentation. The same thing applies to even theory subjects also. When we do a survey, we have to process the information, see if it is logical or not, or otherwise you have to change a certain questions and redo the whole survey. So such decisions have to be made by a researcher. And if we don't make proper decisions, the research may not succeed. So that is why taking correct decisions on correct time is very much necessary for a researcher. Next is organization of ideas. When we have lot of ideas in our research, we should present them in an orderly manner. When I was discussing the definition, I talked about organization. Organizing ideas and presenting them properly is necessary. I have talked about it even in communication, isn't it? Communication is also a part of organization. So that is why ideas should be put in an orderly manner and they should be presented by the researcher in his or her thesis. So that is why organization of ideas is important. And finally, evaluation. I told you about evaluation also. We have to determine whether it is correct or not. Whatever research we are doing, whatever proofs that we are getting, are they correct or not? We have to verify and see. Sometimes we have to re-verify also. Sometimes if the result is not proper, we have to re-verify, and if it is still not proper, we have to redo it. Okay. Mostly, as far as I have seen, researchers do and redo their experiments at least twice or thrice because they have to be very sure before presenting it in their thesis. Okay, so that is why we have to have good decisions, we have to organize our ideas, and we have to evaluate very impartially. Okay, so these are the basics for doing research for any person on any topic. Okay, next please. Literature review. Yeah, that is why I did not explain literature review there. Literature review, I have chosen a separate slide for this because I had a few people asking me about literature review regarding research skills. So I thought it will be beneficial for all if I discuss this separately. So that is why I have put it in a separate slide. Now let us see what a literature review is. Literature review is something which we have to write for all research topics. And even sometimes for articles also we have to write literature review. Okay. So now what is literature review? Literature review is actually nothing but as soon as we take the topic, we have to see how many people have already worked on this topic. And we have to see how many have worked on which angles on the topic. I told you every topic has different angles. So you have to see first how many people have worked on the topic. Number two, how many angles have they worked about? And number three, which researcher told what about the topic? That is the third step. And fourth step is you have to see which angle you are taking and how this is similar or different from previous ones. You have to be very clear about that. Is your research similar to what is already done? Or if is your research slightly different from them? Or are you doing something completely new? This clarity you should have. And in order to get this clarity, we do literature review. That is why they ask us to do literature review. To know how much we have studied on our topic. So these three steps which I have told should be very clear in a literature review. Okay, the first step as I have written there is search for relevant literature. How many people have worked on my topic previously? That is the first step. And immediately make a list of your keywords. I told you keywords help in searching for information. So that is why you should make a list of keywords. And next is find relevant sources. Try to find all the literature that is already written on your topic. There might be hundreds of researchers all over the world. And thanks to internet, we can see all their work now very easily on net. So that is why you see immediately what all they have done. And definitely in their thesis, they might have written what they are aiming for, isn't it? So you see all the relevant sources and you find out what they are writing on. And your next step is you make a list and you just see how far you are similar, how far you are different, and are you trying something new. These three categories we have to see. And next, use Boolean operators. What are Boolean operators? See, whenever we try to find a search word, for example, I am searching for Walt Whitman, as I have told. You can take another writer, like suppose Emerson, Thomas Emerson. He's also an American writer, isn't it? So you take both of them, both names, and you can put a comma in between and search. Okay. Or you can put a question mark after the name and search. It will give different results. Okay. When you put a comma and search for two people, it shows the articles which are written on both the people. When you put a question mark and see, the results will be different. It will show you how people have differed from their opinion. Okay. So like that, you have to use different punctuation marks along with the key term and search for it. So that is Boolean operators using different types of punctuation marks. For example, if you're searching in big databases like Justor or other big repositories of research papers, then these Boolean operators will help you to find your literature review. Okay. Next, understand the key concept, central idea, or theme. Whenever you read an article, don't just read, take a notes. Keep a notepad next to you and write important points. What is the central idea in this? What is the key concept in this? Is it different from mine or is it same to mine? That also you have to understand. And let's understand its relevancy, strengths, and weaknesses. Whenever you take a topic, you should always find these three things. What is the relevancy of my topic? Means how far my topic is can be applicable in the present world. That is relevancy. And how far my topic is strong. It can generate new knowledge. That is strength. And weakness. How much of it can I succeed or not so succeed? Okay. Sometimes for some research questions, we may not find complete solution. For some things, we may find only partial solutions, isn't it? That is the weakness. And please don't think that because it is weakness, it is wrong research or bad research. No. It means that you have tried this angle completely and you have achieved this kind of success. Only this much of success, no problem. But still, it is a success. Why? Because you tried for it and you wrote about it. You are able to prove whatever little you have written. Okay. So that is why it should be relevant, it should have strength, and it may also have weakness. No problem. Okay. And please, when you write a research review, write very honestly. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? You write honestly. All of us do it. Even I did it. Okay. So we should be very clearly having an idea what is the relevancy, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses of our research. And we should not be afraid to speak about them. Okay. Next is and confirm innovative. These are the three things, isn't it? I told you. How much are we doing what is done before in a similar manner, in a slightly different manner, in a completely different manner? So, and means you're adding to previous research. Confirm means you're following previous research. Innovative means you're doing something new in research. So all these three should be there. Okay. So this is literature review. And the first part of your research proposal, you have to write your literature review. It will be definitely asked, and many questions also will be asked based on this. Because your supervisor definitely will want to know how much you know about your topic. And that can be known easily from from literature review. Okay? Yeah. Next, please. Tips to improve. How can we improve our research skills? Very easy. Just we have to follow a few precautions. That's it. The first thing is plan schedule. As I told you, for each and every SEM, you have to keep a very detailed plan what you're trying to do. Okay, this SEM, I'm going for data collection. This SEM, I'm going to organize my ideas. This SEM, I'm writing my first chapter. This SEM, I'm writing my second and third chapters. So like that, you have to plan your schedule. Okay. And quality sources. Always follow good quality sources. Go for standard books in libraries or go for standard online sources like Justor or ResearchGate. So many other things are there. Okay. So like that Google Scholar is there. And so many articles are available in big databases. Athena, yeah. So like that, so many are there. So any database you go for only quality sources, go for standard sources, and go for multiple sources. As I told you, don't just confine yourself to books or to e-sources. Go for other things like interviews, surveys, blogs. Those things also you can go. But see to it that it should be authentic. See to it that it should be original. Okay. Next is multiple data. Collect data in different forms. Sometimes audio, sometimes video, sometimes in written form, sometimes in electronic form. Like that, take multiple data and meticulous records. Keep detailed records. Each and every small issue also you have to write the source and keep it very clearly. Because if you don't have that kind of discipline, it will become very difficult in research. Collaborate. Collaborate means speak with experts on your topic, speak with your supervisor, speak with your colleagues who are connected to the topic, or speak with experts, subject experts. Okay, so like that you have to collaborate because research is not something which you will do in your own room, sitting all alone. No. Research is something which should be done with a lot of expression, lot of discussions and collaboration with your peers as well as your superiors. And next, seek feedback. Whenever you write a part of your research, show it to experts, ask their opinion, discuss it with them, take their feedback and improve yourself. Next is attend workshops and conferences. As soon as you choose your topic, try to attend all the workshops that are relevant to our topic. That will help you a lot. Okay, because you will meet like-minded people, people working on the same kind of topics. So that will boost your energy. That will also give you good, fresh perspectives. Next, have good writing skills. That is very, very important while writing thesis. Okay. If you don't have writing skills properly, no problem. The best solution for it is practice. Keep writing. Keep writing once, twice, thrice. Slowly you will get. Okay. And writing small articles, writing small paper presentations will also develop your research skills because it will help you develop your writing skills. Okay. Be curious and open minded. Always keep an open mind. Try, even when people don't agree with you, be open minded. Listen to what they have to say. Okay, even they are entitled to their opinion, isn't it? So that is why be curious, be open minded. Try to receive information as much as possible. Extensive to intensive reading. As I told already, read extensively means read different topics that are related to your topic. And intensive reading means read more in depth about your topic. Both should be there. Okay. Next, please. Other tips to improve. Now, all these tips that are in this slide, they are closely linked to writing skills. Okay, so please pay attention. Summarize and paraphrase. Whenever you read an article, as I told you, don't just read the article, keep a notepad with you. Or open a notepad on your laptop or your computer and write down those ideas. Whatever ideas you are getting while reading, you please write them. You try to summarize and paraphrase. Both you have to do. Summarize the article as well as paraphrase what the writer is actually trying to say. Next is goal setting. As I told, keep a very strict goal. How many I am going to complete today? I am going to complete this article today. Like that, you keep a schedule for yourself. Try to get the main idea, supporting idea with examples. Examples are very much important for a thesis because you need proofs for everything, as I told you. So that is why have the main idea and put the supporting ideas in the paragraph. The main idea will be the starting sentence of the paragraph, and the supporting ideas will be the next sentences of the paragraph. So, like that, you have to write. And next, explore both supporting and opposing ideas. That is also should important. It should also be there. It is not enough if you keep on writing only supporting ideas. You should also explore opposing ideas and try to see how far they are correct or not. Okay, that also should be there. Next, please. Yeah, points to remember. What are the points that we have to remember? Means what are the precautions that we have to take while doing research? Avoid micro planning. Okay, first I told we have to plan. Now I am telling avoid micro planning. This is not against my first point. This is actually supporting my first point. You have to plan, but don't plan too minutely because you can't say, isn't it? Sometimes we plan to do something and something else may come up. Or sometimes we may make an experiment, it may not succeed. Okay. So that is why if you plan too much, it will become difficult. So that is why plan the broad outlines, but stick to the plan. Whatever plan you are making, follow it. Okay. But don't plan too much. Very minutely, don't plan. Plan only in broad extents. Okay. Next is aim high, but don't be unrealistic. You should always have a high goal because if you have a high goal, at least to some extent you will be able to do. If you have a low goal, what we achieve will be even far low, isn't it? So that's why always have a high goal, but still don't be unrealistic. Don't think that I have to finish the entire book today. That is not possible, isn't it? No human being can do that. So don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Okay, just challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. That is good, but don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Avoid glossing. If you don't know something, don't just write without knowledge. If you don't know something, please go back to the source, read it again, understand it. If you don't understand, ask some expert and only then write. Don't write in a glossy way. Glossy means hiding your mistakes. That is wrong. Okay? So we should be ethical. That is against ethics. No multitasking. When you are working on your research, daily suppose you are working for 1 hour on your research, that 1 hour don't do anything else. Do only research. Okay. Don't cook or don't watch television or don't look at your phone when you're doing research work. That 1 hour you keep only for that. Okay, so no multitasking. Because if your concentration is scattered, the results won't be good. So that is why no multitasking. Engage with the problem and try to find the solution. Try to look at the problem honestly and try every kind of solution. Whichever it works, you try till you succeed. Check and recheck. Whenever you write an article, please Check once, twice, thrice. Check very clearly. And ask another person also, maybe your friend, maybe your colleague, ask them to check again for you. Because when we write, we don't pay close attention to our mistakes. So that is why it's better to ask somebody who's not biased to have another set of eyes on what you have written. Okay. Next is maintain healthy habits. Eat properly, take proper rest, be relaxed when you do research, or give time for relaxation also. Healthy habits, healthy body will give you healthy mind. And only when you have a healthy mind, you can do research properly. So that is why have good body and good mind, both in a very good frame of mind. Okay? Yes. Next is how to help students in research. Okay. This is only one small uh, mention that I am going to make, because all of us mostly are teachers here. So I thought I will include this also, because research skills is something which should be, I think, should be inculcated from childhood itself. If we nudge our students in research skills, they may or may not do research in future, but it will definitely help them in their professional life. So that is why uh, please try to inculcate research skills in your students, and maybe if possible even in your children. Okay. So research skills for students. Practice skim reading and inferring from paragraphs. Ask the students to read the text and try to give you the gist of it. You can just give them newspaper articles, or you can give them on BBC and such channels. We have very good small write ups that are there given online, they are available freely. Okay, so give those articles to your students, ask them to study quickly, give a quick reading, and explain the main idea of it. Okay, that will help them to develop research skills. Note taking exercises. Ask them to say, just give them one topic or one small, show them a small video and ask them to write the details in the video on a piece of paper. That will help them to learn note taking. And show them a graph or a picture and ask them to write the information in the form of a paragraph. That is information transfer. Okay. And ask them, tell them a story and ask them to write a summary of the story. Okay. Or, for example, you can give them a product like a mobile phone or a laptop, or something they like, and ask them to write a report on it about its features, how good it is, what is bad in that, what is good in that. They will enjoy it. And ask them to maintain sources, ask them to tell where they have got this information. That will help them learn citations. And all the above things which I told, that will help them to write good articles and good write ups, good reports. When students are able to do these things, it will help them a lot in higher studies. Later on, whether they do research or not, it will help them a lot in higher studies. And later on, it will help them even in their profession, in their job also. Okay, so please try to inculcate these things in your students. Tips for online research. Tell them how to do good online research. I have told in my literature review about Boolean markers, all those things. Those things you can share with your students and ask them to develop better research skills. Okay, next, please. Yeah, research skills for students. Close reading by identifying patterns and oppositions. Whenever you give them a reading exercise, ask them to find out. similar sounding words or similar meaning words and opposite meaning words. Like that, you can give them language exercises and ask them to check the authenticity of information. Ask them to check, is this website good or not? Ask them to check. You can ask them to check all these things. That will help them to locate information correctly. Okay. How do we check for correct information? We have to see the HTTPS. We have to see the online certificate. We have to see who is running the website. Are these people correct? Who is actually contributing to the article? Who is the writer of the article? Are they correct people? So, like that, if you tell them small tips, they will know how to search for correct information, which will help them later on. And you can just ask them to do short interviews. They can interview each other, they can interview their friends, and they can interview with another person from another class. We can do any number of things like that. And encourage them to register for internships and community service. We can always encourage our students to go for internships, which help them in getting good jobs. And they can go for community services to develop personality skills as well as communication skills. So, all these things will help them to become better researchers and better professionals. So, in that way, we will have very efficient students also. It is not enough if a teacher is efficient. I think we should also make our students efficient. So, for this, I think these tips will help. Okay, next, please. Advantages of research skills. What are the advantages of research skills? Because of research skills, we can have integration of professional experience and expertise. We can take expert opinions and we can give professional experience. Both we can merge and talk about it or write about it. We can understand the needs of the students. We can understand, we can develop new strategies in teaching as well as in research. It will help us in professional, our own fields also. If we are a good researcher, it will help us professionally also. And it will enhance the quality of teaching methods. If we are good researchers, we can also become good teachers, better teachers. Get other perspectives and the bigger picture. We can also, when we do research, we can understand the different research expert opinions. That will help us to build our own knowledge and to better our own knowledge. And we will be more confident as teachers, and because we are doing a good job, definitely we will have more job satisfaction. So these are the advantages of research skills. And next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah, conclusion. Technology, what is the future of research skills? With this, I'll conclude. The future of research skills is very bright because now we have AI, artificial intelligence, and definitely that will make an impression on our research because through artificial intelligence, we are able to find new things. We can search future scenarios also very easily with the help of artificial intelligence. So, definitely, I think in future, people will use AI in research. And definitely, future there will be lot of interdisciplinary research. Means research which combines two or three uh, professions. Like suppose bioengineering, it is biology as well as engineering. Like that, psychosociological research, like psychology and sociology. So, like that, there will be a lot of merging of different subjects, interaction of two subjects or three subjects in future. There will be open science practices. Open science practices means the scientific whatever experiments they are doing, the scientific results will be given openly for the people for discussion. So this will be in future more. Now it has started already, but it will be more in future. And focus on sustainability. This is very, very important. Future research will definitely have to work for the betterment of environment. Our environment is already endangered, isn't it? So whenever we do any kind of research, we have to think of that it should be protecting the environment, it should be protecting our planet and wellness. Our research should bring wellness, goodness to people, happiness to people. We should not research on something which will create disaster or destruction, isn't it? Yeah. So these are some of the fields I think the future research will go towards. So let us all think that there will be more researchers in the coming years, and these skills which we are developing in ourselves as well as our students will be helpful to the people around us. With that, I come to the conclusion of this wonderful session. Thank you for being patient audience. Thank you very much. And thank you, IoT, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.